Oh, the time is coming. There's a debut today and we're here. Sponsored by Leão Infusões, you can get your plush toy, your little lion plush, in boxes. There's 25,000 up for grabs, so you can get your Leão T box right now, right? Leão Infusões. And you'll also be, right, supporting the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel here. We come in strong. What's up, guys? Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're just joining us, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below. Turn on notifications, hit the bell, and leave a like on the video. We're here now, right? Also remember that you can lose weight in a healthy way with Mais Cabelo, the My Slim Weight Loss Program, and also the Exo Mais program to take care of your scalp. And many other sponsors are there too, in the description and the pinned comment, thanks to Caravana do Haroldo. You can travel with the group to the main soccer competitions. You can make sure you're there with Caravana do Haroldo. Haroldo WhatsApp is also in the description. Well, let's go. We have some really cool information to share with you regarding the Pedro situation, right? Pedro's replacement. Well, let's go ahead and bring you this information about Pedro. The news that came out in the media today is that Pedro has a 100 million euro release clause for foreign clubs. Flamengo does not accept offers for Pedro. Flamengo does not agree to negotiate Pedro unless it's something very high and Flamengo can replace him or get two players for that amount. Yeah, Flamengo and Pedro himself both want Pedro to stay at Flamengo, renew his contract, and keep building his value, want to stay at the club they love. Yeah, Pedro isn't thinking about leaving, especially not for clubs that won't compete for titles or will be fighting to avoid relegation, so Pedro wants to stay at Flamengo, okay? That being said, Flamengo, even with offers coming in for Pedro, Arab clubs, clubs from Europe, Turkey, these offers are coming in. Flamengo doesn't even want to hear about it, right? Flamengo has this idea that he'll only leave if his release clause is paid. The release clause, according to some outlets that published today, is 100 million euros, and it's very hard for anyone to reach that amount. Yeah, and we know he deserves it. He's playing really well. On top of everything, he's playing really well. He deserved to be here, right? Not to take anything away from Igor, Thiago, Mateus Cunha, and the others, but he deserved to be here. Absolutely. I think if someone had to be cut, if they had to choose, I think he should be ahead of João Pedro. Absolutely, okay? And then we have this situation that's being talked about a lot, which is the replacement for the striker Pedro. And then Flamengo fans obviously are asking for some names. Tati Castellanos has already been mentioned. Yeah, we have the idea that Flamengo is going to do some scouting, right? We know that Flamengo is going to try to do some scouting, and that in this scouting situation, Flamengo is looking at the South American market. Flamengo, according to Coluna do Fla, is looking at South American players who play in European football. We brought the news that Flamengo was, making progress, right? They were making progress in negotiations with a South American player who plays in Argentine football. We didn't have access to this name. We also didn't bring this name to you, but that's the situation. Flamengo wants to keep Pedro. Flamengo only understands that Pedro will only leave if his release clause is paid. It's a huge release clause, a very high one. Pedro will only leave if the release clause is paid, so Flamengo does not accept to negotiate Pedro. All right? So that's the situation, okay? And now Flamengo is doing this. Meanwhile, the scouting team is looking for this striker, which is one of the priorities. The other priority is a midfielder. And for the midfield, Flamengo might look for a market opportunity or, sign a player in installments. That's why there's a lot of talk about Almada. Our report that Flamengo wants Almada has already been confirmed by major outlets, but the player prefers to stay in Europe, all right? So in this situation with Flamengo looking for a replacement, obviously Flamengo fans commented a lot, joked a lot about Arrascaita's situation, talking about Gabigol, or rather not really talking, right? Reacting about Gabigol, right? They made a joke with him there saying he looked like Gabigol and he agreed, right? And then obviously people are joking around. They missed Gabigol. Looks like he misses Gabigol, huh? Looks like Arrasca is missing Gabigol. Let's take a look here at the Uruguayan national team's material. Look here. Gabigol. His look was exactly the same. Look at that. Did he find you strange, Gabigol? He looks like Gabigol. Did he find you strange? Did he find you strange, Gabigol? And then obviously all the Flamengo fans were commenting, right, man? Very good, right? Yeah. Jose Ricardo Reis, perfect reflection as always. Andarillos and Advento saying we miss Gabigol. Man, the fans want Gabigol as an option for Pedro, huh? Gabigol coming back to be available there when Pedro can't be Gabigol to fight for the position. People are wanting that, huh? Look, Maria Rayan, I understand you, Arrasca. I also miss John Rodriguez. I really miss Gabigol. The game just isn't as fun. Miss him, hearts, and a lot of people laughing, sending Gabi, hearts, missing Gabigol. I miss him too, Gabigol, idle forever, just come back, Gabi. They could change FIFA's naturalization rules so Gabigol could play for Uruguay. People are posting emojis and it's gone viral. Everyone's joking and joining the fun. But a lot of people seriously want to see Gabigol back at Flamengo, there to be an option for Pedro. Yeah, a lot. It's not as fun without him, miss him, yeah. And then people keep posting the emojis, Gabigol's celebrations, which were fantastic, right? Yeah, how could they not be? We understand you for Arrasca. Yeah, I really miss Gabigol. The game just isn't as fun without him. Gabigol is what this Flamengo team is missing. Bring him back to us. This provocation, this decision. Yeah, guys, okay, everyone's here, my brother. I'll tell you, Gabigol, always an idol, man. The comments, man, this is just crazy, okay? Everyone's saying it's a perfect reflection and all that. Just come back, Gabi. Flamengo fans have turned on the nostalgia switch. So what now? Would you bring him in as an option alongside Pedro? Answer from the heart. We'll bring Brazil's probable lineup in a bit. So we have Alisson as the goalkeeper, Danilo and Alexandre as the fullbacks, Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhães as the center backs. In the midfield, we have Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes, Lucas Paquetá with Vini Malvadeza and Rafinha on the wings, and up front leading the attack. It could be Igor Thiago, but it'll probably be Mateus Cunha. This is the likely lineup for Coach Carlo Ancelotti. Look, we have some important news to share with you all. BTB Sports reported that Vasco is evaluating the situation of forward Cebolinha, who is leaving Flamengo at the end of the year. His contract ends and he can already sign a pre-contract in the middle of the year, okay? So that's the news, all right? Vasco is monitoring the situation of Everton Cebolinha, okay? It's at Coach Renato Gaucho's request. The club is evaluating the salary feasibility, which is considered very high, right? His salary. The player already lives in Rio de Janeiro, but they are evaluating it because the amount is very high, okay? About Cebolinha's salary. So the news that came out on BTB Sports is that Cebolinha is of interest to Vasco. Of course, Flamengo wouldn't negotiate him mid-year, right? We had already checked that Flamengo doesn't want to strengthen any other Brazilian soccer team in the middle of the season. So Flamengo is. If they lose Cebolinha at the end of the year, he can sign a pre-contract and Vasco shows up as one of the teams that wants to sign Everton Cebolinha. It's sad, right? To see Cebolinha maybe going to a rival. I don't believe he'll go to Vasco. I even believe he could go to Grêmio or to some other team or even to Turkish football. Now, Flamengo spent a lot of money on him. They won't recover anything from Cebolinha unless Flamengo manages to do so during the transfer window. A deal of about 3 million euros to speed up Cebolinha's transfer so he can join earlier, right? At the end of the contract without needing a pre-contract and just show up for another team. I just really hope that Cebolinha doesn't go to any rival, right? Why, man? He was really loved by Flamengo's fans, right? Especially in the Libertadores final. He managed to win over Flamengo's fans, even with so many injuries, with so many problems. He has the love of the Flamengo nation. Or am I saying something crazy here? Here's some important news. Flamengo announced the contract renewal of midfielder Luis Felipe with the new deal signed last Wednesday. Luis Felipe, this guy here, okay? He's with Alfredo Almeida there, right? Who takes care of Flamengo's youth academy. The new contract was signed Wednesday at Ninho do Nindrobu Training Center and runs until December 2028. In a post on social media, the player celebrated the contract extension with Flamengo. Contract renewed with Flamengo. Very happy and grateful for the renewal. I thank everyone involved. God is faithful at all times, okay? He is a standout on the under 20 team, has already started to earn a spot on the professional squad, and has been included in the roster for the last few for some matches with the main team. His debut happened in the win over Madureira in the semi-finals of the Carioca Championship, which was actually Felipe Luis's last game as coach of the most beloved team in the world. So we have Flamengo renewing with the midfielder Luis Felipe. That's important, right? So you don't, so later, you always have to renew, leave about 2 years as a bonus so you don't have the same problem that happened with Rian Roberto, right? Yeah, we see Palmeiras fans complaining a lot. Oh, it's just because he came to Flamengo, to Palmeiras. Yeah. That's Flamengo stuff. That's VAR stuff, Varmengo. They already start, right? Talking nonsense. The STJD suspended Barbosa for being sent off in the derby against Flamengo. The defender now at Palmeiras was punished with a 2-game suspension. Since he already served one automatically, there's still 1 game left on his suspension, and now they're saying, oh man, only now. Did they wait for him to go to Palmeiras to punish the player? No, it was already in line. The hearing was already scheduled and the player was suspended, okay? And of course, they're going to use this to say Flamengo, just leave Botafogo and go to Palmeiras and he's already being punished. That's it. The STJD supports Flamengo, right? We know how it is. We see every time Abel does his thing, nothing happens. And how many times has it happened with Palmeiras too, right? They benefited when Flamengo players were punished. Let me remind you that the STJD didn't accept Carrascal's appeal. For those of you talking nonsense, right? You came here to attack me and all that. Carrascal's appeal wasn't accepted. Flamengo kept it that way, okay? Carrascal was suspended for 3 games right in the match against Palmeiras. He got that red card, got 3 games, and they didn't accept the appeal. So, cry in bed. It's warmer there. That's it, man. Predicted score for Brazil versus Morocco. Brazil 3, Morocco 1, 3-1. I was going to tell you I had said 3x2, but for me it's going to be 3x1. Brazil 3, Morocco 1. With a good debut for Brazil. Let's go all in. I'll call you guys later. I'll be here after the game. I don't know what time I'll be able to because there's a press conference, but as soon as we can go live. With the post-game of Brazil and Morocco, you'll definitely get the notification. We're together. Big hug, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo, all right?